Welcome back to the module on being and becoming. So we had a look at the mindfulness practice in the first exercise to help us connect to the ground of being. In the second session, we were looking at some principles to guide us as we move into action. In the last session, we focused on our physical body and how we can take care of our physical body. And in this session, we're going to focus on the energy in our bodies. There's been a lot of work done that explores how our energy moves through our system, moves through our bodies, and plenty of research to demonstrate that not only do we have the physical body that we can generally see and touch, but we have other more subtle layers to our body around us. And they've been called various things like auras, subtle bodies, but generally there's a consensus that there's something there, and that it's just a less concrete form of reality that we can't always see with our eyes, although there are people who can actually see the bodies, but we can measure with various instruments. So if we just assume for a moment that that's true, that there are these kind of gradients of less concrete bodies around ourselves, that they are part of our being as well, then we can start to pay attention to how do we look after those? How do we look after the life energy or the life force in and around our bodies? And in this image here, you can see how one person would depict it, these various layers of energy around us, flowing around the outside of the body, but also up through the body. What's important about these is that people would say that things start to happen in those energy bodies around us before they actually get into our physical body. So that if there's a stress element or if there's some kind of sickness brewing, that it would start to show up first in those more subtle bodies before it actually enters our physical body. So if we can keep our energetic dimensions clear and clean and be conscious of them at least, it reduces the chance of us getting sick or of disease entering our physical body too. And it means, of course, that the effect that we're having if we have these layers to our being that are beyond just our physical body, that's also impacting other people and other things around us. So it's important to be conscious of those parts of ourselves. So there are various practices. There's a plethora of things you can be doing, which, apart from anything else, is a very good justification for working in this way. If all of these different things have emerged, these different ways of working have emerged, then it tells us that there is something more out there than just the physical workings of our body that we might more traditionally look at. Various different practices, probably yoga a lot of people may be familiar with, that helps to get the energy flowing in the body as well as enhance our physical resilience and flexibility, or various practices which would have the word qi in them. Tai Chi, for example, qi really meaning life energy, qi gung, all these different things that you can be doing that actually really help the energy flow in your body and keep your physical body alert and healthy, but also your mental and emotional sides in balance. So a practice like acupuncture, understands that energy flows through your body and that it gets blocked at certain places, and that, through the insertion of needles or pressure, that you can begin to release some of those blockages and get the energy flowing again. So different cultures and different traditions have produced different ways of working with this dimension of reality, and you will just find something that seems to resonate with you, which feels comfortable for you. But again, like the physical vitality, it's just important to note that this is an important part of our well-being. And find for yourself a practice that seems to work. Somebody you may know who's working in that area, or something which seems to fit with your understanding of the world, with your culture and your values. But do pay attention to it and start exploring what might be a way for you to engage in this kind of practice that keeps the other more invisible dimensions of yourself that traditional science might not be able to see or acknowledge, but they seem to be there. How to keep those healthy and vibrant, because that will really affect your ability to make a positive impact in the world. So you'll be able to go into the integration tasks now, choose some personal development modules to work on, and start discussing some of these issues with your fellow students in the forums. And then we'll be back for the next module. Before that, you have the chance to work on your first creative assignment. And that's really an opportunity to bring together all the various bits and pieces we've been talking about. So over the last 6 modules, we've really covered a lot of material, and you've had a chance to integrate some of it through the integration tasks in your journaling and other things. So you might want to go back and take a look at those, and then start to bring those pieces together as you work on the assignment. You'll also be working with others on the assignment, so you can start to think together about the practice and the process of creating this assignment together. How are you living some of the things that we were talking about in this module? For example, the mindfulness, some of those tenets, are you living by those? How are you looking after yourselves physically? So use the creative assignment as a practice ground to start working on some of the things that we've actually been talking about.